Hello. I've been asked to do a tutorial for the two trees olive oil question, and I will try to do that in this video. But before I do that, I want to show you something called Letterhead. So Letterhead activity, I'm just gonna make this nice and quick. The way to do Letterhead is to highlight. Now, by the way, let me give you some context. The Letterhead is like at the top of a letter. Okay, so at the top of a letter, you have your return address. That's your information, the person writing it. And then after that, there's the date. So I could put September 13th, 2016. But anyway, letterhead, I'm just going to go ahead and start doing it. You could bump up the font size to like 28. Now the remainder of the address here, that's the street address, the city, province. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come to the end of that line and hit delete. And then come here and hit delete. So what I've done now is, okay, so just to review, I took the address and I put it on one line. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to hit bottom border. Okay, now if you're doing this in Google Docs, to get a bottom border, you can do insert horizontal line. So the insert menu, horizontal line. So here we go. We got Dwayne Murphy, we got my address. Now, if you're pretty good, you could try, you could do this. You could just put an asterisk in between the parts of the address like that. I guess that would do. But if you want to be a bit fancier, we can do insert symbol. So insert symbols. Now, this is probably going to give you a bit of a headache, but you can go insert symbols and then down to wingdings. So we can hit W for wingdings. And you could put in a nice symbol into your document like this. That's a nice one. It's called Broken Diamonds. So now in between the parts of your address, you have these symbols, and I'm going to copy that and paste it. Control C, Control V. One thing that's missing from this picture is, the thing missing from the picture here is clip art. So if I go insert clip art, I want to get a picture of olive oil. Or if I'm a welder, I could get a picture of a welder. Okay, so this is clip art. We can get this bottle of oil here, and I'm going to resize this bottle of oil. Now, one last thing here, you have to kind of appreciate images. We're going to go to with the image selected, we're going to click Format, Text Wrapping, and we're going to say Tight. And I hope this is doable to whoever's watching this video. If I'm going too quick, you can actually hit pause and rewind the YouTube video, so that's a nice thing. So this is what I call my letterhead activity, where I turn the address of a business letter into a letterhead at the top of a letter. I've added the address on one line, horizontal rule, and an image. Now, to get to two trees olive oil, that's essentially what I've done here. And if you're doing this in Google Docs, you might have a hard time finding Algerian font. So if you do this in Google Docs, like I'm gonna give you a bit of credit for just trying this out. But look at this table, for example. How many columns are in this table? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, there's bullets here. Okay, so how do I make this document look like what's on page 2? In fact, I can zoom out. Your challenge is to make page 1 look like page 2. So notice how I zoomed here. I don't know if you can see my mouse. I come down to the bottom right to the zoom bar. So what I'm going to do is this company here, Two Trees Olive Oil, I'm going to highlight that and make it about a 36-point font. Now 36 is too big there. You can tell that's more than on one line. So I'm gonna go down a bit in font size. That looks good. And how do I get the address onto one line here? Well, remember what I do to bring this to one line is I'll go to the end of a line and hit delete. Now, not backspace, but delete. And I could put those symbols in again. Do you remember how? Insert symbol. And wow, the last one I used is actually here. So I'm gonna come here, delete. I'm gonna copy that symbol, Control C, Control V, delete, space, Control V. Do you remember how to add an underscore? I'm gonna go to the home ribbon and the bottom border. And how do I add that clip art? So I can do insert clip art. We can do olive oil again. And it could be a different picture. There's a picture. Okay. Again, if I added clip art too quick, back up the YouTube video, hit pause and back it up. It's basically insert clip art, type olive oil, and hit go. Now, you might say to me, Dwayne, Google Docs doesn't have clip art. Well, in Google Docs, you'll have to do a Google image search and copy and paste an image of olive oil into the document. How do I move this image? I have to set the layout to type. So I come to the Format ribbon bar, text wrapping, type. And I'm going to make that picture small enough that it fits. That's good. Okay, the date, dear Dwayne, paragraphs. Right here, I'm going to add a 5x2 table. So I'm going to say insert table, 5x2. Do you see how to add a table? Insert table. You should have learned that in the content. Now what I'm going to do is called a technique called drag and drop. So since ginger and sesame seed oil, just drag and drop it. Oregano and thyme, these are wonderful spices. Rosemary, cayenne pepper, just drag and drop. I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take these two, put them here. Just different volumes of olive oil here. Maybe. Okay, there we go. Now, how do I get rid of this white space? If I hit Show Hide Hidden Characters, I can delete that. Okay. How do I tint the top row of a table? I highlight it, right-click, Borders and Shading. You should go to the Shading tab, light gray. By the way, if you make a table in Google Docs and you want to tint the top row, it's you highlight the top row, you point at that row, right-click, and you go to Table Properties, and then they have cell shading. But anyway, you can highlight that top row and hit bold. Do you know how to add bullets? We're going to highlight these 5 rows and add bullets. You can actually add these triangular ones. Now, if you do this in Google Docs, just the regular bullets should be fine. You know what? That didn't work out, so I'm gonna back these up. Maybe you wouldn't have known this, but I'm gonna highlight these. Try it one more time. There we go. At the bottom of this letter, there's the closing and signature line. You can highlight these paragraphs, make them fully justified. Okay, wow, I'm at 10 minutes. So that I'm going to do a spell check, any red underlines, spell check. If you wanted to move the date out to 3 inches, what I recommend, never hit spacebar, but you could hit tab. Tab at the amount. Tab, 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 tab. Maybe for this course, just hitting tab is good enough. I sometimes teach tab stops. But, and last thing here, I could make this font green by changing the font color here. So if you can make that document with tables, bullets, images, I think you're doing pretty good. Okay, thank you. Hope you enjoyed the show. Bye-bye.